we got some big update on none other than Sean Diddy Combs. After years of allegations and investigations, Diddy is finally facing the justice that so many people have been waiting for. But before you get too excited, it's not exactly what most of us expected. Many believed Diddy would be sentenced to at least 15 to 20 years in prison, but shockingly, he is only getting a little over 4 years. Yeah, just 4.
Because he does have credit for the time served. So already it's less than the sentence that he's getting, the 4 years.
Honestly, it's feel like a joke. If this was a regular person, they would probably be spending decades behind bars. But since it's Diddy, a billionaire with massive influence, it seems like he got special treatment. What do you think, guys? Is this really justice or just another example of how money controls the system? So before you go into that, let's just see how it all started. Let's take it back to where all this began. In September 2024, Diddy was arrested in New York after months of investigation into his private parties and disturbing allegations. Authorities hit him with serious charges: sex trafficking, racketeering, and transporting people across state lines for prostitution. These weren't minor crimes, they were federal level charges that could easily lock him up for decades. After several hearings and denied bail requests, Diddy's trial kicked off in May 2025. That is when things got wild. Over 30 witnesses took the stand, including his ex Cassie Ventura, sharing stories of abuse, manipulation, and shocking behind-the-scene behavior of Sean Diddy Combs. The courtroom was intense. It really looked like this was finally the end of Diddy's empire. But after months of drama and headlines, the verdict finally came in July 2025. The jury found Diddy not guilty on the biggest charges like sex trafficking and racketeering, but he was found guilty on 2 lesser charges related to transportation for prostitution, and then came sentencing day. On October 3rd, 2025, Diddy was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison, a $500,000 fine, and 5 years of supervised release after he gets out. Prosecutors wanted over 11 years, but somehow the judge went much easier on him. And here's the craziest part: since Diddy already served about a year in jail during trial, he could be out in just 3 years or even less. You heard that right. So now here is where I need your opinion. Does this sounds like justice to you? Because to me, it sounds like money won again. Money just wins. I'm not only saying that, you can see even experts are also talking about this issue, saying Diddy actually got the win. It's not a win for the victims, not even for the prosecutions. It's a win for only Diddy.
Sentenced to 50 months of incarceration by Judge Subramanian, so a little over 4 years. That minus the 14 months already served. Is that the appropriate sentence, Serena?
Well, I'm sure Diddy is not thrilled to not walk out today, but he should be pretty happy with his defense team, because I think the judge giving less than half of the prosecutor's recommendation and also less than what the pre-sentence report had said is a win for him. I do believe that 4 years is a win in this particular case.
Did you hear that, guys? I said this before. When a man is just getting 4 years in prison and there are multiple chances for that prison time to be reduced even more, just imagine what could happen next. If tomorrow you find out Diddy is getting out after an appeal, would you really be shocked? I think there is no surprise at all. More experts are also concerned about this issue. Here is another one saying the judge's decision, considering Diddy's past record, was actually a very low sentence.
First of all, we got to go back to the fact that the defense did an enormous job in getting him off of the most serious charges, right? So we're talking about something that's going to be smaller and it's going to be less time anyway. Next, there's the probation department recommendation, right? Which put things at a certain place. And it sounded like, even though the judge talked about how 11 years wouldn't have necessarily been unreasonable, and he said 14 months would have been entirely unreasonable, if I am hearing it correctly, he still is in line in that he doesn't want to do something that'll necessarily be appealable, and he wants to arrive somewhere not too far afield from the recommendations themselves. And so again, here's Diddy in a situation where he did a lot better than he might have. And that 3 years is going to go by in no time. And the day that he was found guilty of most of everything, it ensured that he would have a date that he would get home at some point anyway. So he will get home. He's better off than he may have been, than a lot of people would have been, even though he's not coming home today.
Did you hear that? I completely agree with that. If people like Diddy just serve this short time, and if he is treated like someone who deserves kindness, then this is only really the proper law. The law becomes a joke with what is actually going on. What is your opinion on that? Let me know in the comments. Not only that, but the reason I'm so concerned is because now Diddy's lawyers are saying they will appeal the judge's decision, and they are hoping the sentencing might be reduced even more, or in their words, that Diddy should not be facing jail time at all. Just watch here.
The jury resolved and the jury rejected. It is really a sad day for everybody.
I don't feel that way.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and I think the judge said coercion today as a basis for a sentence at least a dozen times. The jury's verdict was resoundingly clear. There was no sex trafficking, there was no racketeering, everything was consensual, everything was adult, which is why he was convicted only of the prostitution offense. What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he
Did you see that? I know Diddy's lawyer are just working for money, and honestly, they are doing their job. They should not necessarily be blamed for that. But if you think they should be blamed, let me know. My point is this: if they appeal and it comes out that Diddy's prison time is reduced again, then it's actually very possible. If a 20-year sentence can already be reduced to 4 years, then why not even lower? So guys, you tell me what do you think in the comments. Now, here is more about what actually happened. How P. Diddy, his lawyers, and even his family were trying to manipulate the courtroom, acting like they were begging for mercy from the judge. Here you can hear what happened in the courtroom drama.
Sean Diddy Combs is getting support from his kids. During the rapper's October 3rd sentencing hearing, several of Combs' children took the stand to advocate for their dad, who is facing years in jail following his July conviction on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. During their remarks per NBC News, his 34-year-old son Quincy told Judge Aaron Subramanian that his father is, quote, a changed man. His brother, 31-year-old Justin, went on to add that he hopes his father will get the chance to right this wrong and to be the man he truly is. 27-year-old Christian Combs also asked the judge to give his father grace in his sentencing, adding, "He is the greatest in the world. He is my hero, has always been my hero, and always will be my hero. He always taught me to treat women with respect." NBC News noted that Combs was visibly moved during the statements, putting his head down to cry as his daughter Chance took the stand.
I'm totally shocked. People like Sean Diddy Combs are now trying to say he is a changed man, that he is become a good person, and that he deserved mercy. But if he was truly a good person now, wouldn't he think I committed so many crimes? So if I get out now, it will be unjust for the victims. I need to be held accountable for what I did. Did he ever think about this? I don't think so. Because right now, Diddy and his whole family are actually focused on how they can use money, how they can use conspiracy, and how they can manipulate the situation. That is their main intention as of right now. If you agree with that, let me know in the comments. So guys, at last, what did we find? We found that justice still looks more like a performance than reality. And once again, money and influence seems to be stronger than the law. Diddy is one of the richest names in the music industry with connections everywhere. And somehow his punishment barely scratches the surface. If this were anyone else, someone without fame or money, they would be spending half their life behind bars. And let's be real, this isn't even Diddy's first time being accused of something like this. He's had multiple lawsuits, multiple scandals, and somehow every time he walks away. Maybe it's time we admit it, the system protects the rich. So what do you think? Did Diddy actually face justice this time, or did he just buy his way out again? I would really like to know your point of view. And guys, this is my new channel. If you like my point of view, let me know in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video with authentic news and topics.